everybody. So I decided to do something that I'm really excited about, that I'm passionate about, and that's the MLB. So there's a big difference between the MLB, the NBA, and the NFL. One of the main differences is the players or the prospects coming into the league. The main difference between the leagues is the draft. So in the NFL, you have 7 rounds. In the NBA, I'm not sure how many rounds they have, but in the MLB, the problem is that you have 40 different rounds of draft picks, and that's nice because a lot more people get an opportunity to play, but it's difficult because those players get lost. All right, so one of my biggest pet peeves with baseball is that when I like a player in college, after they get drafted, it's hard for me to see that player play for the next 5 years because they get lost in this system of minor league. Whereas in the NFL, you can see a college player, a wide receiver, quarterback, you can see them make an impact in the NFL the very next year after they get drafted. So what I wanted to do today was explain a little bit of how the minor league system worked and where these players actually end up after they get drafted. And obviously I left out college ball because we're just going to assume that the players are in college rather than high school, because MLB can draft out of high school. But we're just going to assume that these players came out of college and now they're into the minor league system. And what I want to do is I want to start going by level, just explaining the different stages of minor league baseball, all the way until you get to the major leagues where everybody hopes to play. So the first one that we're going to talk about is rookie ball. Now rookie ball, and I did leave out one of the levels. It's a short season level. It doesn't really mean too much, but rookie ball is the lowest level of minor league baseball. Okay, and here's just some facts on it. So currently there's 2 leagues here in the U.S. for rookie baseball, and it's the Arizona League and the Gulf Coast League. Now who plays here? It's the inexperienced players who are most likely just out of high school or coming out of some college. All right, these players, basically what they're trying to do is get acclimated into the league. All right, they've never played a lot of games like they are in the MLB. This is kind of a buffer league to just get them ready for a longer season. All right, so this league, it doesn't have as many games in it, and the competition is just a little bit less. And it mainly focuses on their age group because they're not really ready to play somebody 5 years older than they are. You know what I mean? So that's exactly why they start with a rookie ball. All right. Once they get past the rookie ball stage, it brings them to a league called Class A baseball. Now this one currently, just like in rookie ball, there's 2 leagues. It's the South Atlantic League and the Midwest League. All right, and who plays here is, occasionally you're going to find some experienced players, but most of them are really going to be the ones that just come right out of rookie ball, or maybe, just like it says here, maybe it's going to be some experienced college player that's a little bit too good to play for rookie ball, but they're not conditioned enough to play the entire season. So they're going to start them here at Class A, get them some competition, and let them ease into it. So these are a little bit more experienced. They've gotten past rookie ball, and they're at this level right now, which is Class A. Now once they get past Class A, it comes to something that's called Class A Advanced. All right, now obviously, just as it states in the title, it's a little bit more advanced than Class A, but it's the same principle. Okay, it's basically the same time frame of schedule, as many games as there are during the year as there are in Class A. The difference is there's 3 different leagues for this Class A Advanced baseball. It's California League, it's the Carolina League, and it's the Florida State League. All right, so basically this is just like the other leagues. It tries to encompass the whole nation rather than just a portion like the East Coast or West Coast. The people who play here are obviously a few high round draft picks, because we're going to talk about those in just a second with the next league, but occasionally some high round draft picks are coming out of here, and a lot of times what happens in this league is you get players that get drafted out of high school, that are really elite players, but that are too good to play for the other lower minor league leagues. All right, so they put them right into this Class A advanced league to get them better competition, to speed up their development to get them to the major leagues. And a lot of times, honestly, there's people that can get drawn out of this league to go to the major leagues. So they don't have to go through each system to make it to the major leagues itself. They can pick players out of each league and put them in their major league teams right now. So that's Class A advanced. Let's go now to the Double A, and this is kind of the generic. Everybody knows this: the Triple A, Double A baseball, and those ones are referred to as the Single A baseball. They just have different names for them, like Class A, Class A advanced. So the Double A, right now there's 3 leagues. It's the Eastern League, the Southern League, and the Texas League. All right, the people that play here are honestly, just like we said, are the elite players, the high draft picks coming out of college, high draft picks coming out of high school, the players that are too good to be down in the other leagues. All right, now these ones, the majority of these players are the ones that are just being primed to make it to the major leagues. All right, these players are basically solidified MLB players or major league players, and they know that they're going to play one day in the major leagues. It's just they have to pass this spot because there's not enough spots in the roster for the Major League Baseball teams. It's a 40-man roster for each major league team, and there's not enough spots for these guys to fill those slots. But these are always the top prospects. So you'll see people coming out of the Dominican Republic, Cuba, different places like that are really high elite players. They're going to get dropped right here in this Double A division, in this Double A league, and they're going to develop even more with a national competition rather than just in their country. So that's Double A. The biggest thing with this one for me, and we'll talk about this later, there's no lifelong minor league players in here. They're called lifers. You're not going to find any of those players here in the Double A. These are all players that are going to get cycled out no matter what. All right, which brings us next to our the last league of the minor league system, which is the Triple A system. Like I said, there's a big misconception of who actually plays in this league. A lot of people think it's just players that are for sure going to play in the major league system, which in fact is not true. It actually harbors a lot of the players that are considered lifers, all right, are considered players who are just remaining in the minor league system throughout the duration of their career. The reason they do this is because there's just not enough teams in the major league system, and there's not enough spots for these players because there's so many prospects going into the minor league system. There's not enough positions for them, but they're good enough to still play professional baseball as a career. So what they do is, instead of keeping those players in lower leagues like Double A or Single A, they keep them here in this Triple A system. All right, these are the veterans. These are the guys that have been around for a long time, or it's a small group of people that the major league teams like the Red Sox, they know that they need to use those people for injuries, just in case somebody gets hurt. They need to get them at short notice and throw them in their major league teams. A lot of times the location of the AAA team is right next to the major league team itself, and they do that strategically so that they can draw those players out of there at short notice in case something happens. They can bring them in with no travel time, and they can put them right into the roster and help their team that day. So like I said, right now currently there's 2 leagues. There's the International League and the Pacific Coast League. It's reserved for minor league and major league veterans. It's also a system that holds players that are ready for the majors, but the teams just don't have a spot for them, like I said. And then obviously the main goal of each player is to get right here to the major league system. All right, currently right now there's 30 clubs. They call them clubs, they're teams. There's 30 teams in the major leagues. There's 6 divisions, and there's 2 leagues total. All right, so Major League Baseball is divided up half and half. Half of the league, so 15 teams, is considered the American League. The other half is considered the National League. And within those leagues, there's 6 divisions, okay? So there's 3 divisions over here, 3 divisions over here, and that's how they divide the players up. who plays here. Obviously, it's going to be the more elite players that have proven themselves, that have. It could be a potential first-round pick that was just too good for the minor league system. They had them play there for a little bit, and that next year they're right up here in the major leagues. It happens a lot, and that's who's here. All right, so I wanted to show you guys an example of kind of how this system works, and obviously I chose the Red Sox. I'm a big fan. So let's come up here. So as you can see, it has different locations: Portland, Salem, Virginia. A major league team it's not required to have their minor league system in the same state. More often than not, they're not located in that state. So let's go right through here. So we'll go from bottom to top. So the Class A ball for the Red Sox, they're called the Greenville Drive. The Class A Advanced, it's the Salem Red Sox, which are located in Virginia. The Double A ball, they're called the Portland Sea Dogs. Obviously, they're located in Portland, which is kind of strange because Massachusetts is all the way over there. Portland sits over here in the West Coast. And then the AAA team, just like I told you, is actually, so it's called the Pawtucket Paw Sox. They're actually located right there in Massachusetts, not too far away from Boston, just so that they are able to draw those players out on short notice to fill in a spot in case anybody gets hurt or anything like that. So this is basically a breakdown of how this whole system works. All right, it's the path to the major leagues. Really complicated for those who aren't baseball fans. Kind of boring, I'm not gonna lie, but it's easy once you actually grasp it and break it down into different aspects like this, so you can more fully understand it.